live. So one of the most random things about going live with not a lot of subscribers is you get maybe one or two people pop in, and it still ends up being an interesting time. So right now I'm going live with no real agenda. I do have some things on my mind I've been wanting to share with everyone. This live is not specifically about the Raquel vision, but I have been thinking about it. Some things I've been wanting to share is like, for one, in these times when it seems like anxiety is at an all-time high, oh, I am just so grateful. Like, that's one of the things I want to share. I'm grateful for the goodness of God and the peace. Oh my goodness, the peace He gives. And it's real. Like, I'm getting chills right now because it is real. It doesn't mean we ignore our situations. It doesn't mean that nothing bad is going on. It's just like this amazing peace that in the midst of storms and trials, for me personally, just in the midst of so much uncertainty, I can be certain about His goodness, His mercy, His kindness, His presence with me, knowing that He's going to watch over His word and perform it in my life, knowing that as I meditate, as I pray, as I fast, as I seek Him, as I stand on His word, as I minister to myself, oh my goodness, knowing that there's reward in it because He's a rewarder to those who diligently seek Him. So I'm grateful. I'm just grateful that despite the health challenges recently, despite the attacks on my mind, despite and the depressive episode I had in the summer, despite just this bout of anxiety that had come over me since mostly in the since the summer, mostly in the fall. Despite all of that, He comes through and gives peace and answers prayer and opens doors and sustains and strengthens. I am just so grateful for, hey, welcome. I'm so grateful for His love. So that's one thing I've been wanting to share this past the past few days. It's just that in the midst of such chaos and so many changes, the peace that God offers really is real. Some other things, not particularly about faith, but some other things just about YouTube that I've been thinking about is there's a lot of clickbait is like still a thing. And I was in a live of Daydream, a person that I follow who's gaining subscribers. And she was talking about how obviously fake and insincere or disingenuous some YouTube videos can seem, and how they're trying to jump on this trend of like maybe being like Dash or Dash of Faith or other channels that are inspiring and candid, right? And how disingenuous they are and how it seems like people still fall for it. I mean, because clickbait is real. So the trends have changed a bit, but clickbait is real. Even spiritual clickbait is still a thing. And that's another thing I've been wanting to talk about. There are a lot of pages that, they have videos and the names are like gimmicky, like, this word is for you. Click this, like prophetic word for you. Like, and that's the thing about faith-based content. You can't guarantee that just because you have something encouraging to say or you have a word that is for everybody who reads the title of your video. So it already comes across as being disingenuous. And that's one thing I've been really wanting to avoid. Even though I've been really compelled to share my faith, to share dreams and things that I feel the Lord has put on my heart to share with others, I don't want to fall into the habit of those like clickbait, faith based titles where I'm preying on people's desire to hear from God just to get likes and views and subscribers. So that's another thing that has been on my mind. Um, but I will say this. Uh, if I think too much about the type of YouTuber I don't want to be, it can really hamper the creativity of what I do want to do on here. So I think I need to still shift gears, even though I'm seeing the type of content I don't want to make. I think I need to just stay in my lane and focus more on content that I do want to make. Um, I like the idea of shouting out different followers, different subscribers as well, because it just feels good to know, like, even when the community is small, like I only have 60 subscribers, even when the community is small, there's still a sense of community. So we have Fifi. I hope it's Fifi. Fifi Love is in the chat. Or let me see who's still in the chat. I can't even. It's interesting how this works. I still have to get used to going live. But I had Blue Dominion in my last live chat, and I love her channel. Oh my goodness, the prayers that she posts, the Bible trivia, the different inspirational things that she posts on her channel. Great content. And so just to have her pop into my live was it was nice. Before that, I had Educating jump into my chat. He's got some interesting content, very interesting, very insightful. It may not be for everybody. Everybody may not agree with his views, but he puts a lot of research and intellect into uh, the story, the information that he puts out. So so basically, the few times I've gone live, like I said, it's just random who may jump in, but there's still this sense of community, even when it's just maybe one person. And that is why I really like YouTube, because like I have like maybe 1,500 friends on Facebook. Not real friends, obviously, but if I were to go live, I could have maybe 5 to 10 just jump into a live, depending on what I may be talking about or the time of day. And I can get a lot more views and a lot more engagement on Facebook. Um, with people that I actually know in real life, but it's something that's just still way more rewarding about YouTube, even when it's less people and even when it's people I don't know. It's just the synergy feels more momentous, for lack of a better word. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and go live. So that is what I am doing on YouTube. I was thinking about going live on Facebook, but it's decided instead to just go live on YouTube, where I really just enjoy the interactions, even when it's only with a few people. So, oh, and if you do come on in, make sure you double tap the screen, like the video. So, yeah, some other updates. Well, as the season changed, one thing I have been wanting to share more, and it's not like I need a lot of subscribers, but one thing that does make me wish I had more subscribers is when I have something to share that I know will help people, especially when they are facing mental health struggles. So, like, as we go into the holiday season and winter, a lot of people feel an increased amount of symptoms of depression or anxiety, especially if you are somewhere where the weather changes, it gets colder. Winter can be hard, especially if you have certain challenges, you don't have a car, different things like that. And I've been through it, and a part of what I feel led to do this year differently is not to isolate, because I've done that before during the holidays and wintertime, and it didn't really help, and sometimes it actually made things worse. And it's not to overextend myself, because I've done that before, and it can make, it can bring about challenges with depression and things like that. But one thing that I feel inspired to do differently this year is to, one thing, have a balance to where I am interacting, but I'm interacting in the amounts that pours into me instead of takes out. So saying yes to some things, no to other things, not feeling like I have to say yes to everything and no to everything. And that could seem obvious, but I'm looking back, and a lot of my winters are marked by extremes where I said tried to do everything to combat the feelings of depression, or where I just said no to everything. So now I'm being more intentional and actually looking at activities and things that will pour into me. For instance, this weekend my nephew has a play, and I'm going to go to that play. The play is going to be Friday night, and they're going to probably go out afterwards. So it may be a later night than I like to have, especially just, trying to make sure I have great sleep hygiene. And then I have to work Saturday morning, which is a bit of a challenge that I didn't anticipate, is having working 6 days a week now, working two part-time jobs. So, um, I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I love to see my nieces and my nephew, and I know it'll be good for me to be around them, to get to see him on stage. And there's a chance that I don't have a car, so I'll be riding with either my sister or with my dad. And maybe my dad won't stay for dinner, and I can get to come home and get some sleep. But even if I do end up with my sister who's going to stay for dinner, I'm choosing to do it because I believe it'll pour into me. Now, can I do this every weekend or twice a month? No, I cannot. I understand my limits now. I understand it's in my best interest to really truly get rest and not to overexert myself, right? And then on top of working 6 days a week, I really want to go to church, which is why ideally I would not be working 6 days a week, so that I can have at least one day of the week where I can rest, not sleep in, but rest and just reflect and, kind of tend to myself, right? So I'm going to my nephew's play Friday. I know it'll be good for me. And then the good and bad, but one of my jobs will be pretty much closed for the week of Thanksgiving. So that'll be a time where I can recuperate. Now I may miss out on making a little bit of money, but I'm trusting in God. He has been faithful to me. He takes care of me. He's opened up so many doors for me, done things that I could have never managed to do on my own, opportunity after opportunity. So I'm trusting that whatever finances I miss from the cafe being closed where I work, it'll be worth the rest. I won't miss the money. Things will work out. I'll be taken care of, and I have a chance to rest. So that makes it a little bit easier for me to say yes to going to my nephew's play, and possibly ended up at dinner, staying out a little later than I would like, and then having to work that Saturday morning. So, this is my plan for the winter. As the days get shorter, as the temperature drops, to just balance things out, to take a very balanced approach. Another is to not overextend myself intellectually, but to stay stimulated. Again, balance. I have a couple of tasks that I'll be working on, but there is something that one of my mentors asked me to do to kind of be an administrative support for a program she's doing. And initially I was going to do it, but then I realized I just can't. So, and not just because it's winter. Well, actually, yeah, because it's winter, because it's getting later earlier, because I have to catch the bus and I have to be out a little earlier, because there's a little extra prep that I need to do with what I'm wearing, things I need to consider. I um I have to really look at how I use my time. And so I have less time in the winter because there's more I need to do to get where I need to go and to be prepared to do things. So I can't be in the administrative support for this project that my mentor is working on. So I have to tell her no. So that's the plan that I have for this winter. And I'm praying about it. I feel like the Lord is going to lead and guide me on how to say yes to certain things, how to say no to certain things, how to use wisdom, and then how to be flexible and not panic if everything doesn't go according to plan, or if some things that I thought would pour into me don't quite, or if some things, take more energy out of me than I anticipated. To know that as I take it one day at a time, that His grace is sufficient and He's with me, but that in approaching it in a balanced way with more intention, I can have uh, a better winter than I would typically have if I don't if I go to one extreme or the other, doing too much or isolating completely. So that was something else I wanted to kind of share with everybody. I believe if you know anybody who struggles with depression that gets worse in the winter around the holidays, or if you yourself experience mental distress that is heightened around the holidays, be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and have some balance. Challenge yourself to socialize in some ways that will be a little bit more rewarding for you, and say no to certain things that you just know you don't have a capacity for, and find that balance, right? But for me, I want to start writing a little more. That's another thing I want to talk about. I used to write so much poetry, stories, all sorts of things, and I haven't written anything in a while. I want to spend a little bit more time writing, and I'm thinking, like, I'm wondering, should I share some of it on here? I did share some poems a couple months ago, share some poems in reaction to Kendrick Lamar's song "Watch the Party Die." The way it was written was so poetic that it reminded me of a couple poems that I'd written years ago, and also inspired me to write some new poems. And I shared those as shorts. So those are already posted on here. I'm thinking maybe I should write some more poetry, share it on here, or if I would write a story, maybe there's a way I could share snippets of it and do some readings on here just to be creative and have fun. So that's something I'm thinking about. But I'm gonna write. I have to write more because I'm starting to feel a little inspired, and I want to take advantage of that inspiration. What else? What else? I don't know if who else is still in here, but if you have any questions or comments, or if there are any of my videos that you have watched that were interesting to you, or if you have some things on your channel you want me to go check out, let me know. Post it in the chat. If you're catching this afterwards, leave a comment. I just like to support YouTube channels that are sincere and genuine and have something interesting to share, something of value. One of the latest ones that I really found inspiring is Sharika Skates. It's something about watching her practice and her skating and just finding her groove that motivates me to be diligent in the things that I'm pursuing as well. So it's motivational. So I love to find the most random channels. Like I said, doesn't matter how small the channel may be. If there's something genuine there that adds value, I'm going to interact with it. Comment, watch, subscribe, hang around, revisit. So let me know if you have something on your channel you want me to check out. What else? Ooh. Well, that was one of the bigger ones too, with the mental health in the winter time and my plan for the winter. Since I will be walking still quite a bit, um, I don't, I'm not going to incorporate like too much working out this winter. I want to stay active, but one of my jobs is already pretty active. Like at the cafe, that's an active job. And then, like I said, I'll be walking. And then there's still little things and little projects. Oh, that's another one too. Like just pick some projects around the house to work on a weekly basis throughout the winter, so that by the time spring comes, you know, I've really cleared out like old things, sorted through old clothes that I can't fit anymore. Like just gradually, really doing some deep cleaning, because one thing about mental health, when you are not at your best, when you're experiencing certain symptoms, it's a surprising amount of clutter. Not even just clutter, but you almost lose track of the stuff that you may even have stored away. Old things you may have even have in closets that you. And I live alone. It's just me. And I realized that I was looking for a coat that I had, and I went into my bedroom closet and didn't realize I had these laundry bags of clothes from like, man, some of it's from when I was in Chicago 8 years ago. I'm like, I don't think I've even laid eyes on some of this stuff in years. And it's just in my bedroom closet. So I got rid of some of that, and that felt good. So that's another plan I have this winter, is to give myself opportunity to gradually, work on these different projects around the house, getting back in tune with the stuff I have and what I need to get rid of, whether I'm donating it or throwing certain things out, or putting some things to good use, because I have a coat that I found. I'm going to put that to good use this winter. Now I don't have to buy a coat. So there's some money saved. So I'm going to, and finding a lot of like the old books that I forgot I had, some that I still planned on reading. That's one of the projects I think I'll work on, is like collecting the books, putting them somewhere where I can pick one and read maybe one or two books this winter. I have like a lot of old journals that I need to kind of centralize and get put in order. So without making like a huge to-do list. My plan is to just allow myself to pace out sort of working on these projects to have a handle on the stuff that is around me here in the house. So that's another plan that I have for the winter to help combat any mental distress or um, depressive or anxious symptoms. So I like the idea of that one because it's the opposite of losing touch with what's around me. And it's not me saying I'm going to clean up the entire house in the winter or clean out every closet. It's just me saying I'm going to allow myself to go at a comfortable pace of tending to or checking out or going through certain piles, closets, bags of old clothes that I've lost touch with, so I can, instead of day by day losing touch or becoming more and more disconnected from the stuff that's around me, I'm gradually taking back control. So that's going to be a good one. I really believe that's going to be a good one for me. Um, because even just in the look, I've already sort of been doing that the past mm, couple weeks, and it's helpful. It really is helpful. So, oh, finding money in the old coat would be nice. I did check the pockets because I wanted to make sure there was nothing in there before I wash it. But yeah, finding money, finding even just stuff I forgot I had in the pockets of an old jacket. But maybe I will find some money in some of the pockets of these clothes as I sort through them. You know, like they're old. This stuff is from like years ago, but I'm gonna get rid of most of this stuff. I don't think I'll have time to check through all the pants and everything, but definitely gonna check the coats and jackets. What else? So yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you, Fifi, for joining me and engaging. And again, that is why I love YouTube so much. Because even with only 60 subscribers, going live, and each one of my lives has only been like one or two people. It's still interactive. The community on YouTube is just so great because of people like you, Fifi. So I just appreciate that energy that I get on here. So before I close it out, I just want to make sure there's nothing else, nothing else I can think of. But yep, the big one is just having a plan for the winter. If you struggle with depression, or if you feel like, and if you even thinking about it spiritually, you feel like you're under attack when the seasons change. Having a plan. So I've got a plan. There are a couple other things included that I didn't mention, but continuing in prayer definitely is always going to be the plan. Fasting. My birthday is in the winter, so coming up with something. Um, I've been thinking about doing something simple but meaningful, not overlooking it, not just trying to gloss over it. So that's another thing too. But yep, having a plan when it comes to mental health, having a plan and having it be informed, a reflective plan, all that. That was a big one I wanted to share, and I'll probably post a video about that as well and a few more shorts because it's a big deal. So thank you to Fifi for hopping on and engaging me in the chat. Anybody who's catching this, leave a comment. Let me know if you have anything on your channel you want me to check out. Definitely as we go into the holidays and the winter season, have a plan. If you have loved ones who struggle with mental health, make sure you're checking in with them and encouraging them to really, stay healthy and take care of themselves. So that's it. I'm going to end the live and call it a day.